Hello, Lettermen Row watchers and listeners. This is Jeremy Birmingham. You can call me Berm. We're back with another episode of Bermanology on Lettermen Row. Today's guest is Ohio State 2021 cornerback target Jordan Hancock from Suwanee, Georgia, North Gwinnett High School. Jordan, thanks for taking some time. I know you are a busy guy right now.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Hey, let's just these last few months. I mean, when I first heard your name from people around the Ohio State program, it was back in early October, and your recruitment at that point had not really taken off.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden, with the latest 247 Sports release, you're a top 35 ranked player in the country. You're basically right on the cusp of being a 5-star prospect. You are the 5th ranked cornerback in the country. Is all this crazy to you?
With my hard work and all that, and this amount of stuff that I do, amount of training, and it's really not that much of a surprise to me. Really, it's a blessing, honestly.
What do you think took people so long to catch on then? I mean, I know you're putting in the work. You know what you're capable of, but what is it that you think was slowing down the process to begin with?
Minimal sophomore year film.
I mean, did you do all the camps and all that stuff in last summer, or how did you play that?
I went to one camp, Rivals camp. That was the only camp I went to.
When you go to a camp like that, and you're a guy that you play at a big time high school, your program is regularly one of the best in the state of Georgia. When you show up in a camp like that for the first time, is it just a matter of proving to yourself what you're capable of, or you go into that with any sort of doubt? Maybe not doubts, okay? I know athletes like yourself, you're not really like a guy that has a lot of doubts about your own talent, but like, what do you think when you walk into a place like that for the first time?
Honestly, I relied on my technique. I knew that I was more polished than most people. So I kind of relied on that. So I really didn't play with any doubt. I was just out there to make a name for myself, in which I did. So.
Where do you get that polish at your age? And that's one of the things that stands out on film with you is that your technique at corner is a little bit advanced, I guess, for most people your age. Where do you pick that up? I mean, is that just something natural or what?
I get it from my trainer, Tim Jennings. He played in the Pro Bowl. He played in the NFL for a lot of years. He was a Pro Bowler, and he played football at UGA. So I get it from him because he's a smaller guy. So he put all his quick twitches into me since I'm a larger corner. So that's who I really get it from.
Early on in your recruiting life, in your 247 profile, they had you listed as a safety. What is it that makes you feel like your game translates best to playing out on an island and being at corner?
Because my athleticism and my physique, that I'm a longer corner. I can get hands on, I can take receivers out their game, and I can also play the jump ball very well because I'm really athletic.
We cover Ohio State on Lettermen Row, as you know, but the Buckeyes are in a kind of a unique position because they were one of the first real major programs to offer you,
Yes.
and sort of opened the door for you with probably with a few other programs. But then Jeff Hafley left, the guy that you were closest with. So they kind of took a step back.
Yeah.
How has the relationship been with Kerry Coombs since he took over for Jeff Hafley? How hard was that for you, knowing that, hey, this is the guy that kind of found me and now he's gone? Are you still talking to Coach Hafley? Are you considering Boston College? I mean, there's a lot of different ways around that, I guess.
Well, it was me and Coach Hafley had a very strong relationship. I mean, I could talk ball with him anytime I wanted to. But Coach Coombs, we've developed that relationship really well. So it's kind of we're on the same page and we click very well in a matter of shorter time. So the first time we talked for maybe 45 minutes and we're just clicking it off. So that was really cool. He's a really good guy. So
do you see him as sort of like Jeff Hafley 20 years from now? Like the energy, the way they talk, the way that they're like.
Yeah, I see that. I can definitely see that. They're both very intelligent about the game. So I definitely get that.
Is there worry for a guy like you? Obviously, you knew where you stood with Jeff Hafley. You knew where you stood when he was the defensive coordinator and the cornerbacks recruiter. And then he leaves. Is there a moment where you're like, I don't know if Ohio State's even going to recruit me anymore? Or was there contact with Ryan Day, with Mark Pantoni? Were they in the mix with you saying, hey, listen, you're our guy no matter who our cornerbacks and defensive backs coach is? But, I mean, there has to be a moment of uncertainty, right?
Well, not really, because me and Coach Day almost talk about almost every day. So even when Coach Hafley left, we still remain that great relationship. And Coach Washington. So almost the whole coaching staff texts me about every day. So there wasn't any uncertainty about that.
When you see that kind of response from an entire coaching staff, does that change the way that you feel like that you measure up on that team's board or on the, I mean, I don't know if there's a board or not, but
definitely it makes me a priority. It makes me feel like I'm a priority to their program, and I really like that.
You've been to Ohio State once. That was in November. That visit, I know when you left, we talked, and you'd left it feeling pretty good about things with Ohio State. Since then, though, as we said, your star on the recruiting universe has sort of blown up. You've got Alabama offer now, Clemson offer now, Georgia offer now. You've spent time at all those schools. Unlike your teammate Barrett Carter, who's from Chicago originally, you're a Southern boy, right? Like,
yes, sir. Georgia, Atlanta.
Is it hard to compare Ohio State to those schools because of the difference just in geography, or do you see that, hey, these are the elite programs and this is what makes them elite?
It's really. I mean, distance doesn't mean anything at all to me. I was talking to my sister the other day because she lived in Chicago for a couple of years. And I was like, how does it feel like living up north? Like, is there that much a difference? She was like, no, it's not. You adapt to it very quickly. So,
well, I mean, in some way, there may be not that I'm trying to piece this all together in your recruitment, but you have Columbus, Ohio, and you being an Atlanta kid. If you look at Clemson and Georgia and Alabama, those are obviously areas that are not quite as urban as far as the setting goes in the city of Columbus. Is that actually a plus for Ohio State, or are you a guy that kind of wants to get out of the city?
That's kind of a plus because I can build my brand way better at Ohio State. Just the city of Columbus, I think, is 12th biggest city in the country or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So I can build my brand there, and the airport's only 12 minutes, 15 minutes away from the campus. So that's a huge plus. Yeah.
So you're talking an hour and 15-minute flight to get home.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now, I mean, we've talked to Barrett on this show. I mean, you guys obviously you're going through this process together. What I find interesting is that you have, I don't know that it's been intentional, but you guys don't take a lot of visits at the same time to the same places. Is that on purpose? Is that something that you guys are just like, hey, do you not like each other? I mean, what doesn't it make sense? Doesn't it make sense you guys would make these trips together?
Nah, but me and we take a lot of trips together. So it's me and Barrett are best friends. Like we're family. Like we do everything with each other, but it's just visits. Sometimes we don't go at the same time, so it's weird.
So, like when he goes and visits Ohio State a couple weeks after you do, are you gearing him up for that trip? Is he asking you a bunch of questions, or is it just when you get back home you talk about it and make sure that you're both being told similar things? Or obviously you play different positions, so you don't have to worry about getting fed a line of crap from a coach or something. But how does that reaction occur? What do you guys talk about? Is it like a dream to play at the same spot in the next level, or is it if it happens, it happens?
Well, it's we talk about all the time. We kind of want to play together at the same college, and that's really it. We really want to play together at the same college. I
mean, because you're not really a veteran of this recruiting game like some of us are who are old. People talk about package deals all the time, right? Like, okay, me and this guy are going to this spot, but it very rarely actually works out that way. Yeah. Thinking back to a couple kids from Georgia a few years ago, Brenton Cox and Emory Jones. I mean, they had always talked about wanting to play at the same school together. They had both committed to Ohio State, and then they both ended up going to different schools, and now they're both at Florida. But
yeah,
I mean, when you talk about that stuff, does it actually actively shape interest, or is it like your interest has to be totally independent, regardless of that desire?
I guess it's mutual. I think it's whatever the best fit for us is. Honestly, I mean, the main priority is to play for me and Barrett to play at the same college. But if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And some people just have better fits for them, honestly. So there's no hard feelings if we don't play at the same college.
Now that you've catapulted up the national rankings, you're a guy that everyone is going after. Everyone is wanting to talk to you. You have to do annoying stuff like this interview with me. Like, what happens now? I mean, the recruiting dead period is over in 2 weeks. You're able to get back on the road and see schools again. You're able to start taking official visits. Like, if you could draw a roadmap of exactly how this goes for you the rest of the way, where do you see it going?
Well, I honestly think that after spring ball, probably May, I'll release my top schools. I mean, it's going to be shorter than top 10. So I'm going to release that. And then I plan on committing before August or at August.
So the goal, I guess, would be to put in all those official visits in May, June, and then hit the July dead period and then process it all?
Yes. I think because I already have an official setup with Ohio State June 12th, the weekend of June 12th. Mm-hmm.
That seems like it's shaping up to be kind of a big weekend for them. I've talked to a few different guys, and that's the date that they're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Me and the recruits talk almost every day. We have a big group chat, and we all kind of plan that, really.
I mean, are you hearing it more from like Jack Sawyer? Are you hearing it from Kyle McCord? Who are the guys in their class that you've developed a good relationship with?
I mean, almost everybody, especially Ben. I've developed a really good relationship with Ben. I love Ben.
It's almost like guys like you are on The Bachelor almost, because you have I bet you have all the recruits from Clemson and Georgia and Alabama, and they're all talking to you too, right? Like,
yeah.
Doesn't it get annoying at some point?
Nah, it doesn't really get annoying, honestly. I mean, it's just they're really nice people, and I love talking to them. So,
has there been a moment or an instance yet where you were told something by a school and then one of their recruits or commits told you something else and it was totally different and you're like, oh crap? Or is everyone pretty on the company line?
It's been on the company line. You know, I haven't really heard any different takes from other people. So that's really good. As
far as Ohio State, and we'll try to wrap this up here for you. Where does that current relationship, I don't want to say rank, but obviously you needed to establish a new relationship with Kerry Coombs, but with Coach Day, with Coach Washington. How does that measure up to hometown stuff like Georgia? I mean, where you can just pop over there anytime you want. How can they actually compare or stack up to them? What do they need to do?
I mean, they have everything that I need, honestly. Ohio State, I mean, that's DBU, a place where I can get developed, place where I can compete and feel like home. So they really match up with every school that I'm looking at.
Was that surprising? I mean, again, I don't want to drag this on too much, but
yeah,
for a guy from Georgia who probably had never been to Ohio before visiting in November, were you expecting to feel that sort of comfort, or was it like a eye opener?
It was really an eye opener because before I really got into recruiting, I've always been kind of a Southeast boy. I always wanted to stay close to home, but it really changed my thinking of Ohio State and it's a priority to me. So.
Well, look, man, Jordan, I appreciate you taking some time. Like I said, I know you're very busy, and your phone is going to continue to blow up as your recruiting rankings continue to blow up. But it's been great talking to you. Please, enjoy the rest of your dead period here, and we'll talk to you again soon, man. Thanks so much.
Sir. All right, thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, you too.
For Lettermen Row, this has been Jeremy Birmingham. That's been Jordan Hancock. We will talk to you folks next time. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and you know we got Buckeye IQ with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Berm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.